Hey there guys, Gary with Realistics Custom Lures. You know, when it comes to making lures for fishing, the options are endless, and sometimes so is the cost. So today I'm going to show you a cost-effective solution to make your own molds that you can do with Specialty Resin's Cast-A-Mold 30 TF tin cured silicone rubber. Let's get to it. Today I want to show you some of the process of how I create my own custom high quality molds to make plastic worms. But before we get into it, there's a few things that you're going to want to have before you attempt this. You need to have something to mold and a mold box to put it in. Okay. You're going to have a digital scale, because this Cast-A-Mold 30 TF tin cured silicone rubber mixes by weight. Possibly some mold release for the inside of the box, some basic things for sealing the inside of your mold, like some acrylic sealer, different kind of acrylic sealer like Gesso or Mod Podge. Some other things to create duplicates from a mold you already have that may be like ruined. I use this like liquid Sculpey clay. You might want to go with some custom made versions using baked clay, sculpting clay. Like for instance, this trout, the swim bait that I'm working on, 8-inch, I made from baking clay, and then I baked it and created a casting. So I'll need a box for this. When somebody brings you let's say somebody brings you a plastic worm and they say, hey, can you make me a special color that nobody makes? And you're like, oh yeah, sure. Now I gotta buy a mold, right? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go buy a $50 mold, or can you make your own? So, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but I'm going to show you a little bit of how I do it. So one way is, let's say I have an aluminum mold, okay, and those are pricey, $75 and up. I was just looking at one the other day for somebody, and it was $52 plus shipping and all that. So what I did to reproduce a silicone mold, instead of buying expensive aluminum molds, I did it with an existing mold that I had gotten. And I put that liquid clay in there, and then I pull the figurine out. Okay. And then I take the figurine and I glue it inside a mold box, right? And I do it 5 times, and I get several in the box, right? Then I take some acrylic clear after I glue it in there with some super glue, and I spray the inside of the box to seal all the cracks and seal around the clay figure. Another thing you can use is this Gesso, and also another thing you can use is some UV resin. That's kind of a thing that I never got to use back in the day. And then you cure it with a light, right? Okay. So basically, the inside of that mold, when you get it nice and clean, get it smooth, everything smooth, shiny, it's the quality. That's going to depend on the quality of your mold, how it comes out. Okay, so if you want a really nice mold and a nice product, nice worm, that's kind of what it's going to take to create one of these molds. Now, I had my pops make me these mold boxes. They're bulletproof, so I can make more molds over and over again. And so they're pretty nice, and they're gonna last, but you don't have to go that route. You can go with something cheap, like I wanted to make some little jig trailers out of an old worm, some old worms that I had that they don't make anymore. So I bought a mold box from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so you just mark your level of how much you want, how much you need in there, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to spray the inside of this mold box, right? with some of this Poly's 2500 from SRC. A good amount. Don't be stingy. Okay. And then you can spray another one, because you can pour several. Right. This is going to help release the mold after it cures. Okay. And then you can spray your another one. Get all the sides coated. Okay. All right, let's make a mold. Now, before you get started, just make sure you're working from a level surface. All right. And you have your mold box ready. All the figurines have been glued in, and it's been shellacked, and it's all nice and clean. Okay. Then you're going to spray a little bit of this Poly's 2500 from SRC right inside the mold. Make sure you get all the sides. Just a little light coat. Help the mold pop out. That'll be tomorrow. Okay, and then also, you want to make sure you looked on the SRC website, and at the bottom of the page, they have a resin calculator. This is the one for my box. It says it's 10 ounces. Okay, so I like to do two 5-ounce cups, or two 5-ounce cups, because my scale is small and it's easier for me to mix up 5 ounces at a time for this mold than to mix up all 10 at once. All right, so gonna turn our scale on, tear the weight of the cup, and then get 5 ounces of SRC Castamold 30TF side B. So the mix ratio is 10:1, says on it, and the work time is 15 minutes, and the cure time is 8 hours. So in 8 hours you could demold and you could start making worms. So that's another good thing about this product. Cures fast. And they also make a silicone thinning agent if you need it. But I haven't used it yet, so. That is 5.24 ounces, just a little bit over, but that's all right. All I have to do is add half an ounce activator to that, and it'll be good. Easy peasy. So the 10 ounces, 10:1, you'd have 1 ounce of activator. So this is a 5-ounce cup, so I'm gonna add half an ounce, 0.5. So it'll be 5.74. Oops, a little bit over again. It's okay. It's good. I'll grab my mixing stick. I'm done with my scale for now. I'm gonna start mixing. Now, I like to just go back and forth mostly to not incur too many air bubbles in it, and scrape the sides. I do not have a vacuum chamber, and I've never used one, so since this stuff is self-degassing and self-leveling, I haven't found really the need to degas it. As long as I don't stir it too vigorously. I'm not baking a cake here. I'm mixing silicone rubber, and so I don't need to be making, to whip it. Okay, so you just stir slowly. I like to give it a good 2 minutes of the 15-minute work time. So that's what I'm going to do, and you'll see it change color. It'll go to light blue, and you just got to make sure that there's no more white left, and you just go all the way around right now, and you don't have to worry about doing it later. And then you can look in the bottom and make sure there's no unmixed parts. Alright, we're back again. I mixed up a second batch and I kind of did a oopsie, went a little crazy, and I mixed too much. So it came out pretty fast, but I just added the correct amount of activator to make up for it. So we're just going to go with it. And also, I got a couple of extra small molds. I always keep one around that I plan on pouring someday or need another mold. Always going to need another mold. And whatever's left in here, I'll put in here. Okay, so here we go. Let's finish this off. And I'm just going to shoot for center pretty much because it's going to find its own level. And that's probably going to be it. If I go too much, it'll overflow. So, and then yeah, I know I'm not wearing my black gloves. They're right here, I brought them, but a little late for that. So I got just a little cleanup juice. Keep it handy, get it off me. Okay. Oh, I can't forget this. Let's spray a little bit of that in there. Polly's 2500 mold release spray. Help every stick come out nice. Alright, here we go. There's my fill line right there. The slow pour. You know, it just goes in there, filling it up. And just do your best. Try not to make a mess. This stuff is just inherently a little bit messy. Okay, so second stick, the scraper. That's it. Oop. This one needs a little more left taps. Help it spread out a little bit. You can poke. Feel free to poke in here while it's still a workable time. Just spread it out. Make it move to the corners. Push it to the corners. Just kind of like concrete, you know, vibrate it. Help it out a little bit. Sometimes this stuff's slow and thick, so slow and thick does the trick. Okay, this one too. You can see I'm right. I think I made it close enough to my fill mark. I think we're gonna have a good one. Because always make sure it's thick enough. Okay, I think that's enough playing with that. Give it a few more taps. Well, and we'll come back tomorrow and pull it out. Alright, we're back. Good morning. This mold is dry, cured. I just let it go overnight, and so let's get to it. What would a mold video be without a mold reveal, right? So just take our tool, a tool, putty knife, scraper. Ooh, it's coming out. Cool. You're pry it away from the sides, breaking that seal. Sometimes it can get a little stuck, but it's just because it's sticking to the wood a little bit. Oh yeah, grab a corner, okay, and then just be gentle at first and Just peel it back out. Nice. Okay, so shiny. Shiny. Nice. All done. Yep, so maybe in another video I show you how I actually pour these guys. How I actually put them in the molds and formulate it and make all the colors and stuff. So, and then here's that. This is that other mold I did with the leftover silicone. And came out just as good. Even poured a little trailer. Show you guys. Okay, cool. So, yep, and then you probably saw this in the other one. So you can even make molds to make your own fuzzy dice. And that could be like a whole nother thing. Hey again, Gary here. Hey, thanks for watching my video. And if you liked the video, give it a like, a share, and a follow. Subscribe to the channel, it helps. And check for this product, link in the description. Thank you. Have a great day.